When people are represented in a society where you have 11% of people in your society African American and only 2% of them are presented in the movies, we see that if you have such a large portion of people misrepresented in these kinds of places, then people start to see, like, you know, we don't actually have these people in society, we don't have to see them as worthy as they actually are, and this causes tremendous harm. This is what we're going to actually fix with our plan, and I'm going to be talking about 3 things. I'm going to be talking, well, actually 2. I'm going to be talking about how to actually fix the movie industry, and secondly, I'm going to be talking about the social impacts. So, firstly, it's kind of funny that the opposition did a strategic error here, because they from the first speech on, they tackled that, you know, we will get this really bad social impacts and because with the quota system. But from the second speech, they did a shift to talking about how movies are actually a fantasy and they have no impact on our thinking at all. We see that they no, thank you. The thing is that actually they have an impact, but by diminishing their own things, they actually like shoot themselves in the foot. So, talking about how the movie industry is actually broken at the moment. The thing is, because movie industry has been becoming more comfortable by casting right leads, like, I don't know, presidents, action heroes, every kind of a thing you can think about, and only they put like leading roles when they, well, they must. Even when we are talking about movies like Mummy, where it's happening in Egypt, and you see that the mummy is white, and its wife is white, and all the servants are white, but of course all of the people who are dying are actually minorities. No, thank you. This is a system that is completely broken, because people can't actually see that, you know, all other kind of people, the ethnic minorities, could work in those positions too. They don't actually see that the movie industry doesn't see it as broken, because most of the people that they're selling the product to are dominantly white. The thing is, we come as the government here and we change this system. We make them more just, because now they have to cast these people. They, of course, brought out some excellent points out. It's going to damage the movie industry because it's going to devalue their process, or it's going to damage their product. No, thank you, because they're going to get a lower quality of actors. First of all, they are blaming the ethnic minorities for being worse at acting than a white person. This is just racial discrimination, no thank you. The thing here is that we don't only have 3 ethnic minority people in our society and we can choose from 3 of them. No, we have hundreds of thousands of them. We can still hold competitions who is the best actor, who is the best lead for the movie. This is not what is, no, thank you. This is not going to be, you know, oh, we saw ethnic minority walking on the street, we have to take her or him because we have this quota. This is not going to happen. We are going to have we are going to have the great actors that are going to make the great movies. Secondly, or thirdly, they talked about how actually we're going to now make this 10-minute movies, or we're going to make bad movies, no thank you. But in the same sentence they say that the movie industry has incentive to make a profit. That is why they're here. Why would they make a movie when they have to make a percentage of the movies that they would make a movie that would tank? This would only cause them harm. This would not make them any profit. The thing is that they would now want to actually make movies that have these leading black roles that would actually make money. No, thank you. Because otherwise they would not make a profit. This is the thing, how we're going to fix the movie industry with our plan. So, secondly, the more important, the more focus that got in this debate, the social impacts of this plan. So, the thing is that from our first speech on, we told you many points. No, thank you. We told you many reasons why people at the moment, because they are misrepresented or underrepresented, how people have perception of them that they can't actually get these roles, or they can't actually do anything because, you know, they are seen as the people dying in the movies, or that they are just second, or that they are not worthy to get them. Go.
The very fact that it is an enforced top-down approach that you're promoting, you don't have any organic change, which is why discrimination is still going to occur in your society.
Okay, you're quite literally saying right now that we should have this organic change, so we shouldn't have a change the voting laws in 1920s USA to make women be able to vote, because most of the society didn't see it was necessary for them to let them to vote, so we shouldn't change the legislation. This is why we have affirmative action to actually help those people who are the minority, who are in need. I'm going to be talking about more about that under the social impact part. Firstly, we told you how actually those people, majority groups don't see them as worthy. They mostly portray African Americans. They see them as, you know, not as, they don't see them as quality of citizen as a white person, and that is bad because now you will have, well, implicit racists, you will have people that will not think as greatly of them. Secondly, how those same people don't actually feel like they could get to those roles because they don't see the same people at those roles. This is why when in the 70s, when women didn't see that many other women scientists, they didn't think they could actually approach those roles. This is why you actually need to see that other people can do these kinds of things in order to be motivated yourself. And this is what will happen, because now you will see the ethnic minorities as a leading role. So we and thirdly, how it actually no, thank you. In the same point, actually, how it actually really harms the people, as was presented with the doll example. How you actually you create this perception of white dolls being really great and black dolls being really bad, and this is a detrimental issue. So the thing is that the whole case of opposition stands on that thing that if we now put them on a pedestal, then people will think that they're worse. Well, first of all, we're not going to make it that. Oh no, thank you. Obviously, we're obviously not going to go into every movie that starts with you know, this ethnic minority. That this movie was made with the ethnic minorities that were produced to that cause. No, we are not going to do that. Secondly, people are not going to see it like that, because they're just going to see that there's a great actor in that movie that is actually an ethnic minority. They're not going to have a problem with that. People are not going to think that, oh no, this is a great movie and there's a great actor, but you know, he's worse of a person because he got, no, thank you, because now there's a quota system in place. He still had, or he or she still had to compete for that position, and they had to make an effort in order to get that place. So the thing here is that that the society won't actually devalue the hard work of those actors. It will actually just make the barriers a lot less high, because at the moment those people don't think that they have the value in order to get that leading role. This is because they have been disenfranchised for so long that they actually have forgotten that they can be a part of the society and they can empower themselves. What this will drive further is the people that are actually the actors in those movies. If they say that we are going to present them only as thugs, that we are going to present them only as people, you know, like as we're doing right now, then actually this can still have value. Of course, we're not saying that on 100% of those ethnic minority films will be portrayed as thugs. But the thing is that when those actors actually get famous with those movies, then they can actually use their power to further the cause, that you actually help those same people that are in need, to get more education, to get more benefits, to get more anything, like Oprah Winfrey did. And at the same time, how we won't actually devalue all of those other great ethnic minorities, because everyone can do great, just now we will offer more people the possibility to do that. So therefore, I'm really proud to propose. Thank you.
Speaker spoke for 8 minutes and 16 seconds.
Okay, thank you, and I'd like to invite the last constructive speaker from the side opposition. Here.
Side opposition is creating a problem just so they can solve it. Because they keep asserting that movie studios are inherently racist, that black actors face huge barriers to enter the movie industry. Yet when we push them, turn asking them, what exactly are these barriers? Why exactly are movie studios inherently racist? They had no answer at all. Instead, it is our characterization of movie studios that still stands throughout today's debate, where we showed you that movie studios want to make good movies. They want to make profits. And how do you make a good movie? By casting the most talented, the most hardworking actor in the lead role, regardless of his character, regardless of his color, regardless of his ethnicity. And that is why we see so many black actors like Denzel Washington, such as Eddie Murphy and Morgan Freeman rising to the very top, because movie studios want to characterize these talented actors in the lead role because they want to make good films. So if a black actor is talented, they will not simply not cast him because he's black. If he's talented, they will cast him in the lead role because they can make a good film. Bearing this framework in mind, two clashes of the house today. Which side is best for the ethnic minorities? Which side is best for the movie studios? And on to the first clash, in which side is actually best for the ethnic minorities. And here they told us from a first substantive this whole idea that movie studios perpetuate stereotypes, right? And movie directors only cast white people, they perpetuate the stereotype that black guy is bad. But as I've already showed you the characterization of movie studios, they want their movies to reach the widest possible audience, right? So if they keep characterizing black people as bad, they won't be able to reach the black people. The black people will not watch their film. Therefore, they have no inherent incentive to keep casting black people as bad, because they want their movies to reach the widest audience. They want everyone to come and watch their films. And therefore, the best actors in the roles, regardless of their minority, they have no incentive to keep perpetuating these stereotypes. On the comparative, these stereotypes are further perpetuated on their side. Why? Because the government implements this policy in a top-down approach, and the government is the biggest movers of public influence. Therefore, when the government implements this policy, there's a societal perspective that these black people, even if they're in the lead roles because they worked hard, they only got there because they got a leg up from the government, because they got external help from the government, not because they worked hard. Therefore, on the comparative, their side is actually increasing discrimination against the black people from society, even if they had worked very, very hard. That's what we exactly told you. They also told us in the second substantive how they're empowering ethnic minorities and inspiring the youngsters. Because if a youngster sees that a black person is cast in the lead role, he'll be very inspired, right? But let me tell you something. Youngsters are only inspired if they know that the people who are at the top got there based on hard work and not because they got external aid from the government, right? They use this whole example of Oprah Winfrey, right? Why do we respect Oprah Winfrey so much? Because she got there because of hard work. She got there because she was talented, not because she got external aid from the government. Therefore, their own example works against them completely. And we'd also like to tell you another line of analysis, that minorities are only empowered when you put them on a level playing field with the rest of society. They're not going to be empowered when you give them external help from the government, right? They're only empowered when you actually measure both minorities and the majority using the same metrics of hard work and talent, instead of saying that, no, minorities deserve a leg up because they're the minority. No, we have to put them on a level playing field and measure them using the same metrics, instead of using the same old metrics of color and religion. Then they also told us that there are enough talented actors in the ethnic minorities and there are barriers to getting them ahead. But the fact of the matter is that yes, there might be enough talented actors, but some of them may not be as talented as the white actors, right? And that is why movie studios might cast more white actors in the lead roles. I've already characterized and told you that if movie studios are profit motivated, they will cast the most talented actors in the first place. They have no incentive to cast a white guy if he's less talented and even if he's not talented, right? Even if we agree that he may not have enough resources and therefore he's not as talented, at least on our side, we're making him work hard. We're making him work hard and actually get to the top, because that's the only way he'll get to the top. And at the end of the day, at least his potential is maximized, right? So even his potential as an actor is maximized, he will get roles in the first place. No thank you, sir. And they also gave us an example of South Africa, how they implemented affirmative action policies in South Africa and how they led to better reconciliation within society. We tell you, no, it is not because of affirmative action policies, but actually actions of one man named Nelson Mandela. But he can also give you so many examples of affirmative action policies in places such as India, Sri Lanka, Burma, Malaysia, where affirmative action policies has only increased discrimination against the ethnic minorities, because there was a societal perspective within these countries that these minorities were simply getting a leg up. Why? Because their color was another color. Their color was wrong, things like that. Before I move on, yes, sir.
Okay, so shouldn't we never make more legislation in order to raise up a group of people in a society? Like, shouldn't we ever have abolished slavery because we were not like people?
Thank you, sir. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. We said there should be more legislation to create more equality and opportunity for jobs and education. For example, helping black people in terms of giving them more resources so that if these resources they can work hard. But we're not saying we should give them external account. We're not saying we should allocate a certain number of places to these black people, and even if they don't work hard, they'll simply get this spot. That's not what we are saying. We're saying there should be policies, but it should be measured. We should still measure them by the same metrics of hard work and talent, and not any other metric. And that's exactly what we told you in our first substantive, right? This whole idea of increasing discrimination against the ethnic minorities if you implement their policy. What is their response to this? Again, the same whole idea that movie studios are inherently racist and will not cast black people. We've already shown you this is wrong, because they want to make a good film, they will cast the most talented people. We also showed in a second substantive this whole idea how you're going to devalue the hard work. And what was their response to this? Oh, you won't tell people which movie had the quota system, which movie did not have the quota system, and things like that, right? But the fact of the matter is, as I've already proven to you, governments are the biggest movers of public influence. If they implement this policy, there's a societal perception that even if the black guy worked hard, he only got the lead role simply because he got external aid from the government. So there's this societal perspective that these people are not working hard, they're only getting the lead roles simply because they actually got external aid from the government, and therefore you're only increasing discrimination against these minority groups, you're only further disempowering them from actually becoming a part of society. Then they also told us in this third substantive, this whole idea that now little Timmy, while watching a black superhero, he'll feel inspired and have a different perception of black people, right? My second speaker already killed the substantive because he showed you that children do not watch movies in a vacuum. Just because I watch a movie does not simply mean that I believe all black people are janitors or all black people are gangsters, right? We also have other people like teachers or educators who are telling us different things. We also have, if you look around, you see successful black people around us, such as President Obama. That also has an impact on our perception of black people. So just because I watch a movie does not simply mean I believe all black people are janitors. There are outside influences that also influence our perception. This substantive falls in the first step. No thank you, sir. Then we also told you another substantive, how you're going to hamper the development of actors from ethnic minorities. Why? Because they have this perception now that I'm going to get a lead role regardless of how hard I work, regardless of how talented I am. And this is something that third speaker completely dropped from their side, right? He never tackled logic. And why is it that? Because if you really want to empower the ethnic minorities, you need to encourage them to work hard. You need to encourage them to work hard at their acting. Not give them a leg up and say, you're going to get this lead role regardless of how hard you work, regardless of how talented you are. This substantive, they never tackled. Then we also told in our fourth substantive, how movie studios will go out of business. And again, they never really tackled the logic of our substantive. All they said was, oh, we are blaming black actors for being less talented. We are not blaming black actors for being less talented. We're just saying that inevitably, under their policy, there'll be some black actors who are less talented than the white actors who get their place within the film. And therefore, the movie that will be produced will be of lower quality. When the movie produces of lower quality, the movie studio makes less profits. When the movie studio makes less profits, they have less films, a lot of people will get hurt in the process, all of the actors will get hurt in the process, simply because the movie studios are no longer making good films. And even worse, now the white actor who is more talented than the black actor will discriminate against the black actor. He said, oh, I was more talented than you, I worked harder than you, but you only got the lead role above me simply because you are black. And because we best empower the ethnic minorities, and because we are best for the movie business, helping all of the actors in the process, we're very proud to oppose this motion.
Speakers spoke for 7 minutes and 59 seconds.
Sorry, 7 minutes?
7 minutes and 59 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'd like to invite the reply speaker of the opposition of the debate for you.
Today was really ask whether the problem was so severe that we really needed the policy to come into place. And we told you from our first speaker already that the situation was improving, and doing that and enforcing their policies would only cause society to regress even further. And then we pushed it even further to ask them, with their top-down approach, would it really work when an organic approach is already occurring on our side, when naturally people are incentivized to put people on equal pedestals in such an industry and in society in general? And they've never come back to us on that point, on how a top-down approach would only enforce upon people ideas that they don't completely understand, and therefore wouldn't help in the process of eradicating discrimination. Instead, we told you how it would entrench it even further. So today we have two main points of attention in today's debate. Firstly, on who really empowers the ethnic minorities, and secondly, on which side really is best for the movie studios. So firstly, on who really empowers the ethnic minorities. Now, they told us that giving them the leg up in the industry would help them, but we showed you in the very first place this won't happen because it increases discrimination. One of the first substantives and rebuttals we came up with, but they've never come back to us on that point, on how when people cannot even relate them to the talent that they possess or show in the movies that they come out in. Because when they appear in movies, when ethnic minorities are given lead roles in certain movies, people are then made to assume that these people were in these roles because of the very fact that they were given a leg up and a push up in the system, because there was a systematic change in the government's policies. Therefore, it is hard for the people to really value the people's work. And we've already shown you how there will be backlash in directors, audience members, and fellow actors in the very first place, because the system encourages other people to discriminate against these people even more, because you highlight the fact that they were not good enough, and therefore you're going to give them the leg up in the system, which is exactly what we didn't want. Instead, we were going for the organic change and improving on it and pushing for it even more, whereas on their side, they wanted to enforce a top-down approach, which would only anger more people, because you highlight the advantage you give them over something that is not really consequential in the line of work, which is something should be evaluated on talent, especially in such an industry. And we give you the idea on how it hampers self-improvement because of the very fact that you cause them to rely on a certain system. But they never come back to us on the idea on how these people in these scenarios will be only reliant on the system, such as the cases of affirmative action like my second, third, and first speaker have already consistently shown you on how it doesn't work in helping the people, only actually incentivizing them to rest on their laurels. You don't help the ethnic minorities at all on your side. We ensure people get recognized for their own talents, because when you see an ethnic minority in a certain position, especially in status quo, we see that they got there because purely on talents, not because they got a leg up, because of a system that was skewed towards them. Secondly, on which side was really best for the movie studios, which we said we characterized for you from the very start that movie studios are profit-oriented. Therefore, people who are talented will get it anyway. Therefore, we showed you that even if you are from different ethnic groups or you are from an ethnic minority, if you are capable and you embody the spirit of the role that you are trying to audition for, you're going to get it anyway. So empower everyone, and we empower and value talents, which is exactly what we want to do, especially in the case on how we talk to you about meritocracy needing to be valued in society. And they misconstrued the entire idea on the purpose of movies, pushing forward in their first substantive that it is the purpose of movies to teach people certain roles and certain ideas that racism cannot prevail. And we showed you that it's not necessary to infringe on movies, because the very idea that they don't give people a large implication on what is supposed to be expected of reality. This is not what movies are supposed to do. Movies are characterized as entertainment industries because of the very fact that they're entertainment-based, not reality. Therefore, we already change it anyway, and society is changing for the better. Therefore, because we eradicate the entrenchment of discrimination and we empower everyone by valuing their talents, we are the side that should win today's debate.
Speaker spoke for 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to invite the reply speaker for this proposition to conclude the debate. Very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the problem for ethnic minorities today, even today, is huge. Not only in politics and business, but also in movies, just as we have discussed. The opposition tries to convince us that if you're extremely good, if you're a great actor, you will get the part anyway, and everything is good. But let's make a reality check. That is not the world we live in today, and that is the problem. Now, we have had two things to prove to you today. That what we are doing is firstly justified, and secondly, that the short-term harm is in no way greater than the long-term benefit. Okay, and why is what we are doing justified? Firstly, we are not giving an advantage to those people from ethnic minorities. We are equalizing the system. Right now, the majority has the advantage, and we see that as a problem. We want the system to be more equal. Now, what we have explained to you, what is really the purpose of art. Every single artist wants to send a message. Art always reflects society. Movies are a part of, are a piece of art, and every scriptwriter is also an artist. So movies should also reflect the society, which is the explanation that we have given you to show why this is okay to do this in movies. So we are giving back the true artistic value to the movies. and here's the thing, the movie's quality won't go lower because the companies have a huge hiring capacity. It is not like we have only two actors from an ethnic minority and everyone else from a majority. We do have the capacity to have those people who are extremely talented, also from ethnic minorities, and that is not a problem. The movie quality won't go any lower. Now, the status quo would work if the producing studio wouldn't be looking at skin color right now. The thing is that right now they are. What we want to do is to take away that advantage from the majority and help out the minority that is in trouble right now. So now, why is the long-term benefit so much better, so much greater than the short-term harm? The opposition has presented to you a short-term harm that the ethnic minorities will be seen as, but they're only there in that movie because they have a quota. Here's the thing. Firstly, the average person doesn't dislike a movie because there is a person because of some sort of politics or a policy, and this doesn't cause more racism. And even if that would happen for some group, that the people see that the external help is needed for those people to get somewhere, then that is a very short-term harm, which is outweighed by the long-term benefit that we have presented to you. The long-term benefit here is that even though the change will not be today or even tomorrow, but the next generation, little Timmy that is white in US, sees that the people in movies are also from ethnic minorities. Therefore, the people in the society are also from ethnic minorities and are also very talented and able to be a very good leading role in that movie. Therefore, if little Timmy sees that realistic reflection of the society, he is less likely to become one of those so-called implicit racists. What the opposition is proposing, that it needs to be an organic change to have that long-term benefit. The thing here is that under that logic, we never should have abolished slavery or given women the right to vote, because both of those things are things that many people didn't support, and that change wouldn't have been organic. We needed to give that external push to have those people have the rights they have today. Therefore, this is a thing that we should definitely be doing. The thing we're looking for is the minorities not to see themselves as being any lesser, and also the majority not to see them as any lesser. So for all these reasons, propose.